Hey besties, welcome back to Living My Best Life with Lisa Marie. I'm Lisa Marie. Today, because you liked them so much last time, I am bringing you 3 white Christmas DIYs inspired by Pinterest. I can't wait to show you these. So let's get started. For this project, I'm going to use this piece of scrap wood. I'm not even sure where I got it, but there it is. I've got a dowel that I bought at Home Depot, and then I've got these 3 ornaments from the Dollar Tree, and I've got these little screw-in, like hook eyes, I think they're called, I don't know. And then these 2 Merry and Bright signs from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to glue them together to make it more sturdy because these are super, super thin. So I'm going to use a combination of wood glue and hot glue, and I love that container. I got that on Amazon, and it just holds a lot of my glue that's less expensive, so I can just keep filling it up, and I love that so much. If I mention that I got something at Amazon, there will be a link in my description box for my Amazon store, and you can find it there if it's something that you need to. So I'm just going to put some dots of hot glue around the wood glue, and then I'm going to put them right together and squeeze. And if I found any spots that didn't stick, I'll add a little more hot glue and just kind of make sure it sticks. I'm going to use my Rust-Oleum Linen White chalk paint to cover both sides and the edges of this. There you go, all painted and ready to go. Now I'm going to sand this piece of scrap wood, and I used my jigsaw to cut it, but I had to do it outside so I didn't film it. And now I'm going to use that same paint, and I'm going to paint the whole thing, and it only takes about 1.5 coats. There it is, looks great. Now I'm going to paint the dowel, but first I'm going to use my miter shears from Amazon, and I'm going to cut it. Now it looks like it's hard for me to do. It's not. I just didn't want it to fly off the table, so I was going really slow so it wouldn't. But it really was like no big deal to do that at all. So now I'm going to see if I put them inside that big gap there, will my sign fit in there nicely? And yes, it will. That's what I was trying to do. And so now I'm going to go ahead and paint those to match. Everything's going to be white, hence White Christmas. I'm going to take my sanding sponge from the Dollar Tree and another nail file. I'm going to distress and sand around. Now I'm going to take my hot glue. I'm going to put a lot of hot glue, and I'm going to set down my little dowel, one on each side, and that way I will create that smaller gap to place my sign in. I hope you'll come find me on social media. I am on Instagram, Pinterest, and Facebook, same name. Please come see me and say hi. And now I'm going to take that nail file, and I'm going to go around and distress the edges even more. I just like the way it looks. It's funny, this one has a glam element to it, but I also like the wood to be slightly distressed, and I didn't want to do it with paint. I wanted it to be more subtle and natural. So that's what I'm doing. There you go. Now you can see all the edges. I just really like that. I did a little in the middle of the sections too. So now I'm going to take my little eyes, and I'm going to figure out with my ruler where exactly the middle is, and then I'm going to measure where to put the other ones. So I just kind of twisted in, made the holes, and there they are. Just took a little bit of muscle, actually not much at all. I didn't pre-drill holes. So now I'm setting my Merry and Bright sign in there, and I'm going to use hot glue, and a lot of hot glue, because I want this to stay standing up. And it wasn't like a fully tight fit, but with the hot glue that fills in the gap, no problem. So I'm going to go through and start off and just get some in there, and then once I have that part dry, I can let go of the little sign and start filling in some more hot glue to make it even more stable. And that's what I do. And I took a little bit of mop head and just filled in that one little spot because I thought that looked kind of nice, and I didn't want to see any gap there. I did that on both sides. So now I'm going to take my ornaments, and I'm going to use these silver little ties that came with some of the ornaments from Dollar Tree. I'm going to tie it through the hole in the ornament and then through my little hook eyes, and I'm going to tie a double knot. I do add a dab of hot glue there to make sure that knot doesn't come out. I'm going to trim those little pieces, and then I'm going to hide the knot into the ornament itself. See, I'm sliding it down right there, and I put it right inside there. And I actually do put a little glue there too, just to keep it there. So all 3 of them I put on the exact same way, and the middle one hangs a little lower, which I love. And then I'm going to take these sawtooth hangers that I ordered on Amazon. I got them in different sizes. I'm going to use my little pokey tool from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to start a little hole, and then I'll take my drill and find the right size bit for these screws, and I'm just going to drill them straight in. I am using a level because I'm trying to make sure that the whole thing is level across so it doesn't hang crooked. I ordered these little fairy lights on Amazon. They came 6, I think, in a pack, and I'm just going to hot glue that little controller to the back. They don't need regular batteries. They already come with them. And then I'm going to start wrapping the fairy lights around, just however you want, like whatever you think looks good. So I can't really say how you should do it. This is what I did. Just tried to get it, and I love this one, you guys. It's so pretty. When I saw something similar to this on Pinterest, I knew I had to make it my own version. So I've got these 3 pieces of scrap wood. I did cut them with my jigsaw off camera. Now they have these holes in them, and I could use wood filler, but I have this little trick where I put a piece of tape on the back and then I fill it with hot glue, and when it dries, I just sand off that little bump. It works so well. Anyway, I'm going to sand them all with my sanding sponge from the Dollar Tree, and then I'm going to use my Rust-Oleum linen white chalk paint, and I'm going to paint all 3 of these pieces. And now I'm showing you where the glue was filled, and you can barely even notice it. So I'm really happy with how that turned out. Now I'm going to take a little nail file from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to go around every edge of these 3 pieces, and I just love the way that distresses. It's just like the perfect amount, and it's just a natural looking distress, like they're worn, and I just love that look so much. I love to watch crafting videos while I craft, so if you do too, I have a mega playlist that you might want to check out in my description box. And now they are all done. Don't they look great with that? I love that technique. Anyway, now what I'm going to do is I have a little base for them. It's just a little piece from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to sand that down. And then I'm going to also paint it with the Rust-Oleum linen white chalk paint, but I'm going to very lightly dry brush over the top. I am going to go around the edges a teeny bit heavier, but I'm not even going to do the bottom. You can kind of see how it looks. It's just enough. I didn't want it to be solid white like the rest. I wanted a little contrast. I'm going to use a combination of E6000 and hot glue to go ahead and attach all 3 of these pieces of wood. They are now my candles, by the way. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and hold it till the hot glue sets up, and then I can let go and the E6000 will eventually dry. And I'm going to do that with all 3 of my candle pieces. And now you can see how they look on there. I'm going to grab some little greeneries that I got on Amazon. I'm just going to take 2 pieces. They're like little evergreens. I'm going to snip off the extra piece on the end there because I don't need that much. And I'm going to figure out exactly how wide I want them to be by placing them up against the candles. I'm going to get some jute twine and be ready to tie them together. Now that I have them where I want them, I'm just going to wrap the jute twine around several times, tie a knot, wrap it again, tie another knot, and then trim off the excess pieces. I like doing that because it just holds it together, and it also gives you a nice place to glue something for the center if you want to. Next, I'm going to take my chalk paint again, and I'm going to flock this greenery. I love doing this because I love that the green still pokes through, but you just get it kind of on the edges, and I go all the way around every part of it. Doesn't that look pretty? Now I'm going to place it on the front of my 3 candles right on that base, and I'm going to use hot glue, a lot of hot glue, and then I'm going to hold it in place because sometimes if you don't with something like this, it doesn't fully attach because you know the greenery is not a solid piece, but there it is. Now I'm going to take a mop head, you can tell I've used this one quite a bit, and I'm going to pull out a strand, and then I'm going to cut 3 little pieces, but first I'm going to hot glue kind of the pieces that are loose because I want them to stay together for this. So then I'm going to cut 3 pieces, and these are going to become my candle wicks. So I'm going to glue both ends of them, make a little point on the one end that's like the top of the flame, and then I'm going to use an Arteza paint marker. I think it's the lemon yellow paint marker. You'll see it here in a second. And I'm going to paint most of this little candle wick with the yellow, and just a little bit on the bottom will still be white where it hasn't burned yet, if you will. There's the marker, and here I am painting right on top. I thought this was a cute way to create a flame without a flame. I'm going to do 3 of these, and then I'm going to attach them directly to the top middle of each candle like I am right here with the hot glue, and just kind of make sure they're facing upward, And then I've got my cute little candle wicks. Oh my gosh, it looks so adorable. Ignore those little ornaments on there. I took them off. I did not like it. Instead, I'm using these pine cones. I'm going to flock them. I'm going to put 5 pine cones on there, one larger one, and then a bunch of little ones around it. I wanted to keep this a little more rustic, and those little ornaments just glammed it up too much. I love this one, you guys. It's very simple, not a lot of embellishments, but just enough. This DIY is so easy. So I've got this gorgeous kind of vase that was some flowers that my brother sent me. And I've got these bottle brush trees, and I've got a couple of ornaments, and I've got this Epsom salt, and then I've got some glitter and some snow from the Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to clean my container with some rubbing alcohol. And then I'm going to open up the Epsom salts and put what I have left into the cylinder vase. And then I'm going to add some of the Dollar Tree Faux snow, and that's kind of got some glittery look to it. I love the combination. I'm going to mix them up together. And then I've got these little teeny balls of snow. I'm going to add those also, just a little bit. And I'm going to mix those up too. I wanted it to look like all different kinds of consistencies of snow, because that is how snow is. And now I'm going to take the larger bottle brush tree that was from Dollar General, and then I'm going to end up using only 3 of the little ones, even though you see 4 there. And then I've got these 3 ornaments, 2 glittery silver and 1 just regular silver, and I just think it looks so pretty. And I'm just creating this little snowscape. So I'm putting the first large tree in on the one side, then I'm going to add the little bit of glitter I have left. It's very little, and I just thought I'd put that on whatever didn't get glitter on it, and it makes it look like it's glistening in the sun. And then I'm going to flock all of the little trees and paint the bases white also, because I want it to look like it's been snowing quite a bit in this little snowscape. Now I'm going to place my 3 little Christmas trees on the opposite side, and I thought this was so cute, but I felt like it just needed something else. So what I did was I found in my little wood cutouts a larger deer and then a little deer. And I had already painted that one for another project I didn't use. So I'm going to take the burnt umber and I'm going to paint both sides, and then I'm going to use a paper towel and wipe it off so it's almost like a stain. Now that's what I had done with the little deer you see there already. And when you wipe it off, it just leaves the perfect amount on there. Then I'm going to take my white chalk paint, and now I'm going to dry brush all over this deer. And then I will also wipe that off with a wet baby wipe, because I want to make sure that they look as similar as possible to each other. And I did add a little more white paint to the little ones so they would match better. Now I'm just going to take them and place them in this snowscape. It's kind of like a mother deer and a baby deer, and I just thought it was so sweet. You guys, I love this. The funny thing is it's so easy and it comes out absolutely beautiful. I hope you try this one. And now for one last look at all 3 of our winter white Pinterest inspired DIYs for Christmas. You guys, I love these. They're so beautiful. And I know that you seem to really like my last white Christmas video, so I wanted to do another one. Let me know in the comments what else you'd like to see for the rest of this Christmas season, because I have some fun things coming up. But if I can squeeze something else in that you really want to see, I would love to do it. I wanted to let you know that one of the greatest ways you can support my channel, besides watching the video of course yourself, is to share my video. So if you felt like somebody that you know would like this video, please send them the link or share it with them. I would appreciate it so much. It would really help my channel out. And I hope you love all of these as much as I do. Thank you so much for watching my video, and I want you to know that you are a blessing to me. If you like this video, I'll put a couple more up on the screen that I think you'll really like, so feel free to check them out.